Before we start, Cannon Townend's having a raffle for a really nice picture that he's done to commemorate the victory at Newcastle. It's like an FA Cup win. Newcastle fans will be saying, it's just like a cup win for you. They are a bit of a bogey team. Anyway, he's done, as always, a one-off original piece of art. If you go over to cannontownlane.com/raffle, you can get yourself entered in for that. And it's really nice. Got all the main guys that sort of helped towards a win in terms of, Declan Rice and Cresswell and Ben Rama and, of course, Mikel Antonio as well. And it's, you might not be able to see it well for the picture, but it comes in one of these lovely mounts as well. Anyway, yeah, get yourself over, go and have a look on Len's site there. Today, I wanted to talk about the game more, but a story sort of fell in my lap as well. I didn't want to move straight on to the transfer tittle tattle and stuff like that. Although I'm not oblivious to the rumours that Jesse Lingard might be signing on loan. So I thought, actually, let's leave that for another day at least, just because I'm not entirely sure. I'm just not sure about it. We'll discuss that tomorrow, if you don't mind. I think there's a little bit more to play out, and I'd like to give myself another 24 hours to let the news change, as I sort of think it might. So, just really a chance to reflect now, 48 hours, more or less, after the wonderful performance against Newcastle, and, just a great start to the season for West Ham, and in particular to look at some of the performances, some of the individual performances from within that framework. And we can certainly look at another time and talk about David Moyes and just the wonderful system he's put into place. And I'd like to almost... It's interesting, actually, because I'm not used to, as a West Ham fan, having good teams back consecutive seasons. It happens sort of very, very rarely, and I know we're not quite there yet, but so he's had sort of a season and a half, but we're in uncharted territory, for me at least, it seems. I can't think of too many times, so certainly enjoyed that game against Newcastle. The Declan Rice is the thing that's really on the agenda here, and it was an article in the One Football app which was picking up on Graham Souness having a little... This wasn't a pop at Declan Rice, and I think we've got to be mindful about this. Graham Souness is a pundit who's wrong, by the way, and we'll get on to why he's wrong in just a minute. I think we've got to be mindful that not everybody who doesn't say 100% gushing stuff about everybody is suddenly a hater. That's sort of the modern way. I made a comment on one of the videos yesterday, and I said Ben Rama played well, didn't he? He got into a number of good attacking positioning. He got more dangerous as the game went on. Got an assist. He was quite unlucky not to get another couple of assists, actually, and scored with a textbook header. I said he's got a tendency to sort of wander offside a little bit, though. So sort of like 6 really good things about Ben Rama. One thing. I said, he's on getting caught offside. He'll have to watch that a little bit. Got accused of hating on Ben Rama. Oh my goodness, just some people are just so determined to look for offence, So I'm sort of mindful not to do the same thing that Graham Souness said. Graham Souness said Declan Rice was a very good defensive midfielder. So let's get that right before we go on to it. I'll read you the article now. As I say, the article is in the Down Football app, the One Football app, which is downloadable by clicking the link below. If you haven't got it, go and grab it. It's free. As I say, click the link below. You can tailor it to your own specifications. I only get the West Ham news, which is why this story on Declan Rice popped up. Sometimes the England news. I've switched England off for a bit. It's all about the West Ham at the moment, isn't it? And they've been kind enough to support the channel and sponsor this video. So thank you very much to the One Football app. The story itself, I think the One Football app basically nicked it from Caught Offside, who are another website, because that's basically just what the app does. It aggregates all the West Ham stories from all over the place. And it said it's about Declan Rice and it's about Graham Souness. And it basically says, incredible Declan Rice stat for West Ham shows Graham Souness's ill-informed punditry once more. Harsh words, damning words. I'm not a great fan of reading, but I think it's worth it in this instance. It says there's nothing more annoying in football than fans sitting at home cheering on their team to hear an ill-informed view as a pundit that should know better says something inaccurate about a player. Ex-Liverpool legend Graham Souness, a powerhouse midfielder in his day, has been found wanting again when speaking about West Ham's Declan Rice. Whoever's written this article has got it in. right? He's got it in for Graham Souness. They're found wanting again. Anyway, it says, during his punditry on Sky Sports Sunday, Souness suggested that Rice is the type midfielder that always appears to play it safe. And that's something that Hammers News had picked up on. So I don't know. Hammers News, I thought it was caught offside. I don't know. Not only was his statement incorrect, but in fact it was widely accurate. I mean, inaccurate, I think. It was widely accurate and misleading. Anyone who saw Rice star for England in the Euro 2020 tournament will understand that he doesn't often venture forward, but when he does, it's with a purpose and can play the ball forward well. Yeah, look, it goes on to say that he's more than what Souness suggested. And anyway, the stats are that the percentage of passes played forward in the league last season, I think this is from deeper lying midfielders. So first of all, you got Declan Rice, headed it up at 29%. So he played more forward passes than Ruben Neves, Wilfred Ndidi, Eduardo Camavinga. Have I said that right? Camavinga. And Saul Niguez. Niguez? I think that's it. 22.7%. I don't know. Anyway, the point is he passes the ball forward really, really well. And we know this. And I just thought he was outstanding. He was swashbuckling. There was so much good about his game. So much to be admired. And just keeping him is massively important. And the longer the game went on, the better he became. And I know I've said it already. I've said it in a couple of videos. The revenge of the Saint-Maximin tackle. How he sort of stole in there and he just nicked the ball. And I thought that was... I'd seen him miss a number of tackles before then, and particularly on Saint-Maximin as well. But it sort of smacked to somebody that was getting his time in throughout the game. And not only getting match fit throughout the game, I don't just mean that. I mean, sort of sussing out the timing of his opposite number, you know? And there's always a case of, okay, I've watched you a few times, you've dribbled a few times, I've sussed you out, I've watched you, and now I'm going to tackle you. And it was fundamental and it was pivotal because it resulted in a goal, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I watched the game back. Bit sad, I know, but I sort of miss West Ham. Why not? You know, you watch the game back twice because you see things you haven't seen, and I did, and got things wrong. I now have changed my mind. I don't think it was a penalty. Who cares? I do think he obviously did get the ball. I don't care. I still agree with what I say though. Of course, we all agree with what we say, don't we? But he was I think West Ham was the better team, absolutely. But the dynamism, the rampaging forward from Declan Rice, the carrying the ball to the opposition, he's becoming a very, very special midfielder. I probably shouldn't say this because the transfer window's still open. In fact, I'm not going to say it. I'll say this. Ask me. When the transfer window's closed, ask me about who Declan Rice could really benefit. And then we'll discuss it then. Because I think he's staying, because I just don't think anybody can afford him. And I did wonder, because, I mean, Newcastle's a really interesting one. I'll see why Newcastle's an interesting game. Because of the... let's say the rivalry that was created, and the rivalry was nothing to do with Declan at all. But the rivalry was very much created almost by the Newcastle fans, who suggested that that him and is it Sean or is it Matt? I think it's Sean Longstaff. What's Longcock? What's his name? I don't know. Long what's it? Sean of the very long what's it, right? And his brother Matt, not quite as long. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm digressing. Oh my goodness, I need help. So there was a competition. People were saying old Shawnee Long what's it is a much better player than Declan Rice. Sean should play for England, Declan shouldn't, and so on and so forth. Now, he was a good player, Longstaff, but he's not. I don't even know if I've got the name right. I think I have. I think it's Longstaff. He's a very long passer. Remind me of Carrick, actually. But I think he got injured, didn't really develop, nothing's happened. You can't compare the two now. And I just thought when Declan was getting turned inside out by Saint-Maximin, I just wondered if some of those Newcastle fans were like we've heard a lot with a lot of opposition fans who sort of scoff at Declan Rice. And, you know, guy's useless. You know, Saint-Maximin showed him up for what he is. He's no good. He's no better He's not better than our long shaft. You know what I mean? I wonder if there was a bit of that going on. However, I do think he imposed himself on the game, and by the end of it, he was the dominant midfield presence, almost a dominant presence. All right, it's hard to take it away from Antonio, but you know what I mean. He was a dominant figure within the game, and I do wonder, as I might still be a little bit of that, where opposition fans might look at him and think, okay, that's what he's about, because when he's in that sort of form, he's completely unstoppable, and I really don't know how good he can be. I think I don't even want to talk about it. I feel like I'm tempting fate. The transfer window's still open. Think. Remember yourself. Say no more words. I've spoken too much already. But really good. Really good. Magnificent performance. And particularly when you look at it and you look at the Harry Kane situation, you look at maybe some other players as well who, well, whether Declan wants away or doesn't want away, there's been some speculation. And not every player deals with that speculation well. Not every player comes back and puts in that type of shift. But I think it's a measure of the man, and it's a measure of the playing ability as well, that he comes back and puts his mind back to it. And hits the ground running realistically, I think I saw him on a yacht. I think I saw him jumping off a yacht. So having put his feet up on a well-deserved rest on his holidays, you know, and why not? So to hit the ground running and to get into a game like that, and I say, the more the game went on, the better he got. I'd say he's got. People are going to say, I think later on about Declan Rice, that he's not had the respect he deserves for his technique. His technique is very good. His left foot's getting better all the time. His long passing is getting better. He's going to score some goals this season. There's no doubt about it. Great player. But I tell you what, the tackle on San Maximin was great. The block on Almiron, really important. It just sort of deflected it. It sort of, I think it hit the bar, didn't it? On that one. But there were two others, really good blocks or interceptions that just thwarted them when they were attacking as well. As I said before, it is a technique. A tackling is a technique. It's a technique that not many. I don't see so many doing it really, really well. I see a lot of jockeying. I see a lot of positional play. I see a lot of recovery stuff. But actually, to time a tackle, to try and time and guess your opposition player's stride pattern and things like that, so you can tackle them cleanly and not concede a foul. I'd like to know, actually, I don't know if that's a stat, they can do that, but actually his tackle success rate, in as much as how often does he actually foul the opposition. I'd imagine more often than not he comes away with the ball or he wins the tackle. And I don't know what a good percentage for that is, but we know his pass is good. He's just a very, very good player. Honestly, I can't speak highly enough of Declan. And in many respects, everyone from that game deserves their own video in that sense. But I just thought, but I was looking for video and the 1 foot whap and blah, 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 blah. That came up there. I thought, yeah. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Graham Souness. As I say, he didn't say he was a crap player, but I think Souness was very much saying this is just someone that sits in front of the back and tidies up and he's got nothing going forward. No, not true. Declan's got an awful lot going forward. He's got an awful lot going for him. Love it. Absolutely brilliant. Right, I think I've bought myself another 24 hours, then we can see what happens with Jesse Lingard. We'll see.